Hi, Canon Phil Harris here. Today's my rest day, and so I've, as you can see, come down by a local river, taken some time out just to reflect and just to actually be. I start looking at the news and I discover that on 11 boats yesterday, there were 703 migrants that have entered the country. This is just incredibly concerning and just cannot continue at the rate that it is. Let me just put into perspective before people start crying racist, crying all kinds of things, far right, etc. It's a travesty that people who are speaking out are branded in a certain way. I want to just suggest something for a few moments, and just to put into context, 703 people, that is literally 10 postcodes. So if every house in 10 postcodes in our country took a migrant, then we would be able to house all of those migrants that have actually arrived. So for those that want to jump all over me, can I say this? Can you find 10 whole postcodes that want to or are able to find to house a migrant in every one house? Let's put it another way. Let's just say there are 20 postcodes and every other house takes a migrant, or 30 postcodes and 1 in 3 houses takes a migrant, or 700 postcodes that take 1 migrant. We just don't have the capability to carry on at the rate that we are carrying on. Not mentioning the change of culture, the instability that it brings to culture in the country. That is an aside for the moment. If you are complaining at my stance, show me how we are going to house these migrants. Let me put it another way. 2 Corinthians 9 says to us that God provides, when we are good stewards, an abundance for every good work. Now, if you say to me, Father Phil, over there is a car and it is £10 and it is yours for £10, if I don't have £10 in my pocket, how can I buy the car? Similarly, Father Phil, there is a house over there and that's also £10. If I don't have the £10 in my pocket, how can I pay for the house? I just can't. And we've got to a point now where our country is 2.8 trillion in debt. 2.8 trillion in debt. How do we get out of that? We raise 1 trillion in taxes each year. So that is almost 3 times what we raise in taxes each year. But the problem is that last year we borrowed a further 122 billion to add to the debt. And it's equating at that each month again. We are sinking further into the quagmire of economical obliteration. And as much as we can have good intentions, we cannot simply house this level of migrancy. We just can't. So if you are concerned about my posts and you're concerned about my stance, just tell me. Just tell me where we can find these postcodes from that will actually house these migrants. You just tell me how we can cope with this level of influx into our nation. It's not lack of compassion. It's an inability to be able to afford such economic movement as well as human movement that needs to be integrated into society. The longer we do this, the more the country is going to be divided. A kingdom divided against itself will be desolate. It's serious times. We need to pray. We need to have an honest conversation, and our government needs to start looking out for us and finding a way to stop these boats bearing in mind they're already coming from a safe country in the first place. I'm sorry if this offends people, but we just can't carry on the way that we are. I'll see you again soon.